The biggest group I've ever had that's not what sea monkeys are. These are all sea monkeys in here. They're also called brine shrimp, and this is what they look like under a microscope. So if you've never seen one before, if you guys want to come closer, you definitely can. It's really hard to see these individually. They're kind of like little grains of salt or sugar, and there's probably around 1 million in each of the tanks. We also have these two on the end, so you guys can see the big blobs floating in there. Those are where the egg pouches are. So then we get them as eggs, we have them hatch, and then we feed them to our animals. Do you guys have any guesses what might eat super teeny tiny animals like this? Shark? No, they're a little bit too small for a shark or a whale. We actually feed these to jellyfish, seahorses, and coral. So did you guys know seahorses don't have stomachs? So they have to eat pretty much constantly, which is kind of weird. And then our jellyfish that we have, our moon jellies. Did you guys see them over there? Crazy tubes with the jellyfish in them. Those are pretty cool. Those jellyfish, if you were to like submerge yourself in one of those tubes, they wouldn't sting you. They don't really have the capability. But they're 90% water, don't have a brain or a heart. They do have a mouth though, so I'm good with that. Mouths are good. And they have that little 4-leaf clover pattern in them, and those are their stomachs. They're actually not sophisticated enough to be called stomachs. They're technically digestive tissues, but stomachs makes more sense. So when we feed them, they basically just take a turkey baster and this little jug down here, and they squirt them into the tank, and then over time, they grab them with their little tentacles and pull them up, and when they are digesting, you can actually see the orange in the little 4-leaf clover shapes. So it's pretty cool. And they actually kind of glow in the lights and everything. Alright, and then over here we have some insects. Ooh, yum. Who wants a snack? We have some fruit flies in here. We have crickets. We have mealworms and night crawlers. The crickets and the fruit flies get fed to our poison dart frogs. The fruit flies are actually hybrids. They don't have wings, which would be very helpful at home because then you could just get them. The frogs that get them are also very appreciative, I am sure. Do you guys think our poison dart frogs have any poison in them? No. Yeah. You think so? They actually don't. So we can handle them, which makes sense. And the reason they actually don't have any poison in them is their diet. They were born and raised in captivity, so they've never been able to go out into the rainforest and eat all the weird different stuff they have there. So they just get normal stuff like what we have here. It's pretty boring, but they like it. They like to eat it. Oh, don't eat on the table, buddy. You don't want to get any fish stuff on you. And then the worms we have here get fed to the tortoises in the rainforest exhibit. And then we have our earthworms. And do you have any guesses what those get fed to? What do you think? Baby turtles? Baby turtles? Maybe. I don't actually know if we feed them to turtles. They do get fed to fish. Have you guys ever seen a sturgeon before? Did you see them in sturgeon? Like they're a type of fish. They're very big and gray. They've got white darts down their back and their sides. They're actually where caviar comes from. It takes them about 20 years to lay eggs. They can get to be about 6 feet long, and they actually have them in Lake Michigan. I've seen one jump, and it's terrifying. But we also have them here in Sturgeon Lake, which we'll get to take a look at from above. And they have to hand feed these earthworms to these sturgeons. Our sturgeons aren't that big, probably around 4 feet long at the longest, but they have the sucking power of 8 vacuums combined. So the divers will suit up and go down, and they hold out a handful of earthworms. The sturgeon come over, suck them out of their hand, and our sturgeons actually know when divers go down, they're going to give them food. So they'll swim over and they'll beg for food. How does a sturgeon beg for food? It sucks on the top of your head. So you can imagine 8 vacuum cleaners sucking at the top of your head in a wetsuit. It's apparently really annoying, but pretty funny. Yeah, and so hand feeding is one of the kinds of feedings we do. We also do broadcast feeding. How many of you guys have ever had a fish tank at home?
I have fish.
If you know someone who's had one, when you just sprinkle all the little pellets over the top, that's basically broadcast feeding. Ours is a little bit less graceful because we just kind of chuck hunks of fish into the middle of the exhibit. So pretty cool. And then this over here is what we use for target feeding. This is a target. You can see the red tape on the bottom with some marks in it. I don't know if those are from teeth or what. But this is what we use to feed animals like sharks, alligator gars. Depending on how dangerous the animal is, the longer the stick is. So you put the fish in the bottom here, and then they swim past, and then they fish out, and then they hopefully swim away. But sometimes they decide to grab the tongs, which is not good for us. We aren't going to fight with a shark or anything like that. They're very strong, and we don't want them to lose any extra teeth. So we just let it go, and then when they're done playing with the tongs or whatever they want to do, they let go, and we have this pool floaty on here, so they float back to the surface. And that is how you target feed a shark. Instinctive and all that good stuff. So those are all the kinds of feeding we do. Are you guys ready to go up and see some of our animals face to face? Let's get to it.
I'm gonna go get them if you guys want.